Peterson, I'm very excited because we're going to be talking about healthy relationships and how they show up in different ways. Because we know that in life, we're all impacted by relationships in some way, form, or manner. So let's get right into it. We're going to start out with a quote. The quote reads, "Always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else." So Ms. Peterson, what do you think this quote means to you?
I think this quote means that there's only one you, and a lot of times we spend and invest our lives trying to be like other people, trying to impress other people, trying to act like other people.
Yeah.
You are the best you. And so it's important to really build yourself, to build who you are, to figure out your strengths and weaknesses and how that shows up in relationships.
Relationships, they're not always spelled out as clearly. So what we want to do is define keys to relationships, ways to identify relationships, and how to look at the various relationships that you're in as a person. So first we're going to take a look at this slide. A relationship is unhealthy when it involves mean, disrespectful, controlling, or abusive behavior. So Ms. Peterson, unhealthy relationships, right? We know that at times they can be abusive, they can be unhealthy. What are your thoughts about this slide?
I think it's tough because sometimes when you're in an unhealthy relationship, it seems fine, it seems okay. You might be talked to a certain way, but you could excuse that person's behavior and be like, oh, well, that's just how they treat people, or that's just how they talk. Or you could be manipulated or controlled, but maybe you see it as, oh, that person just cares for me. And so it's really important to identify the keys of what a healthy relationship is, so that you can take a step back and say, no, this is wrong. These are my boundaries. I'm not going to allow you to treat me in this way. This is what's healthy and this is what's unhealthy. A lot of times people don't think that they're actually in a relationship with yourself. You need to know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to love yourself, because out of that comes your relationships with other people.
Although I will say there are some people who love themselves a little too much, okay? And they need to learn how to love others as well. But yeah, I agree. Having a relationship with yourself is extremely important. And it's all about relating to others. So now what we're going to do is take a look at 6 key essential components that you need to have a successful and healthy relationship, all right? So the first one here reads like this. The first key is trust. It's a firm belief in the reliability, truth, and strength of someone or something. So this is extremely important to consider. Whenever I'm in a relationship with someone, I need to make sure I can trust them. Because at the end of the day, if I can't trust them, why am I even in a relationship with them?
Yeah, so true.
I tell young people this all the time, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. Like, if you can't trust them and you're always doubting whether or not they're cheating on you,
or checking their phone,
and you're looking at their Facebook or their Insta, like just constantly like, where are they? When are they coming home? When are they going to call me? They said they were going to, like, that's not a relationship, or a good one anyway. You do not want to be in a situation where you can't trust people, because then what happens is it causes a lot of anxiety and stress and fights and drama that you don't need. As you're earning their trust, right, they're also building trust in you, but that doesn't start unless you have those critical conversations. So now what we're going to do is discuss 5 reasons as to why communication in relationships is extremely vital and important.
Communication clears up misunderstandings. When there's miscommunication in relationships, there's room for confusion, misunderstanding. The clearer you are about your feelings and expectations, the easier it is for there to be understanding. But when you don't communicate about your feelings, it's easy for the other person to project things onto you and assume how you feel about a situation.
I'll tell you too, people become passive.
Yeah.
Right? And you may not know what passive is. Let me tell you what it is. It's when that person who's upset with you all of a sudden starts to ignore you, or they become really short and distant with you. So you're like, hey, how you doing? Fine. Hey, what's going on? Nothing. Hey, what are you doing next week? Oh, I'm busy, right? They start to kind of blow you off, or they'll ghost you, right? When you're texting them, they don't respond. They become passive. That is one thing we want to avoid. So when it comes to communication, we say be open and honest up front and have those conversations, because if not, you know, you hold that in, and like Ms. Peterson said, it can burst in certain ways, or you can take it out on somebody else. That has nothing to do with it. So let me tell you from firsthand experience, and being able to manage your temper and being able to be in a good and healthy place overall in life, you want to make sure that you have these conversations or talk to someone you can trust.